I went online to become a private detective. It was a private detective school online, and I paid online. And I never heard from them again. I thought to myself, I either got ripped off, or this is my first case. This is a journalistic podcast, Shannon. We vaccinate our listeners with answers. And I'm going to keep lip-syncing the important questions until TikTok gives me a show. Shannon, how can the moon landing be real if the moon itself is fake?
That's not true, Mike.
Oh, isn't it true, Shannon? You're fake. You're a hologram.
1 in 5 New Yorkers are food insecure. What's your solution for that, Mike?
Fortune cookie. Because that's food and advice at the same time. Shannon, at least have the decency to backstab me, okay? You stab me in the front every time. Some fans can't watch the podcast because they're triggered by our sexuality. And message to those fans, we will leak a sex tape right into your mouth.
This is Mike Vecchione Investigates.
And you're not better than me. Welcome to Mike Vecchione Investigates, guys. Fix it in post. I'm here, and it's Pride Month, and we love our gay and lesbian fans and other fans who are on the spectrum of gender. Is that right, Shannon? Am I canceled yet? I'm trying to say it's Pride Month, and we're celebrating, and also for the other low-income whites who watch the show. So thank you for being here, and we have a great show for you on tap today. And I just want to say to a lot of the, I was saying to Shannon and our guest beforehand, I did a joke about Italians, and anytime I do a joke about Italians, I have people comment that I'm not Italian, and even though ethnically I am Italian on both sides of my family, which was my point. I was raised culturally American, obviously. I'm third generation, but Italian-American. And the uprising that happens in the comments, people are furious that I'm calling myself Italian, which I mean Italian-American, obviously. But people just get outraged and just, you're not Italian in all caps. It's like, your grandparents might have been Italian. Oh, did you take a DNA test? Because you're not Italian. It's like, oh my God, it's just so much. People, I think, on the internet need to be right a lot. And I'm experiencing that. So that's just where I am emotionally right now. But I'm ready to have a great podcast. My guest is, on this show, we have I need to explain it out to the low-income whites and spoon-feed you because you guys need it slow. That we have comics who've been more established on the show, but now we have rising stars on the comedy scene, and this next comic, my guest, is no exception. He's a rising star in the New York comedy scene. Please welcome JC Mendoza. JC, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun. I'm excited.
I am, in honor of Pride Month, I want to compliment you as a man, but not in a homoerotic way.
I really appreciate that.
You have beautiful eyes.
Thank you for saying that, man. I appreciate that. And honestly, it means more coming from a straight man.
Because I don't want anything from you. I don't want you to make me pregnant.
It's coming from your spirit, and and it resonates with me.
And I do not want you to get me pregnant. And I'm not a gold digger. Do you find like a gold digger would say something to you? With eyes like that, those piercing blue eyes, Christ-like, if I can say that, and they're Christ-like, and do you find that women will say that to you, and they're just going right for your wallet, or a pregnancy scare?
I think maybe it has been their intention before,
right.
But what they end up finding is that they are ultimately playing themselves, because I may have nice eyes, but the gold is not there to be dug.
Right.
You know, so that might be their intention.
But you're a rising star, as I said in your intro.
I try.
And did they think, look, let me get in on the ground floor now, because the arc, this rocket ship towards stardom is about to happen, and I want to be on the ground floor?
I think maybe they think that, but I think it's too late for them, for the most part.
Are you Hispanic? I'm just going to put the question to you.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I get it a lot. I am Hispanic.
And what brand? What's the branding on that?
It's a good brand depending on where you read. But I'm Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican and half Cuban.
Half Puerto Rican and half Cuban.
Yeah.
Double island.
The same flag but reversed.
Right. One's a territory,
Mm-hmm.
and one was a hostile nation to us.
Yeah, big time.
And would you say you're more on the Puerto Rican side now because they're a territory? And where are they on statehood? Any feelings on that?
I think we want Puerto Rico to be a state, so
Who's we?
Puerto Ricans in general.
Okay.
I think, and obviously I'm probably going to be wrong, because the same thing that you get with Italian people, I get it from Puerto Rican people all the time.
Because are you a New York Puerto Rican?
but
And
born
not
and
Puerto
raised.
Rico, Puerto
not
Rican?
Puerto Rico,
Okay.
not from the island. My family was, but
Right.
you know, I'm in New York and I was raised here. So anytime I try to speak for Puerto Rican people, I'm almost always wrong, and they don't hesitate to tell me. But I think they would like to get the same, you know, opportunity to vote for what happens in the presidency and Congress and stuff like that. I feel like Puerto Ricans would like that, so they would rather, if they're going to be a Commonwealth, might as well just make it the 51st state.
51.
51, that's what it would be.
51. 50 is a nice round number, though.
It is,
No
and
disrespect to Puerto Rico.
No, that's fair. And if
Yeah.
there's any argument against the statehood of Puerto Rico, I would say that's the strongest one.
51. But as a white, could I just go to Puerto Rico now without a visa?
I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't even
because
think you
it's
need
a
a passport,
territory, right?
Yeah, we just go. That's why it's one of people's favorite place to. Just making houses on the favorite.
Well, yeah, I'm right across. It's don't pay attention to this.
I'm sorry.
JC, don't pay attention. This is nothing. This is not. This is a flag of a country that doesn't exist yet.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so this is the doodlings of a madman, of an investigator.
I see that.
Okay, so it could be the 51st state.
Could be.
Do you have any chance? Would it be a dream come true for you if right in a row, Puerto Rico became the 51st state, Cuba became the 52nd state? What about that?
What a turn of events!
What an
that would
FU
be.
to the Keys.
That would be wild if those were like the first two draft
Yeah.
picks off the board. You know,
Right.
because then you still got Bahamas in there.
Right.
He's still had a good college career.
Have you been to Cuba?
I have not.
Okay.
So like my dad's family's from Cuba, and they're like very opposed to going back
Right.
while they're all still alive. So maybe I'll go like after their time has come.
Was your Cuban side Castro Cubans?
No, they were anti-Castro.
Anti-Castro, but they came here, the boat lift?
They came. So they got on a refugee plane.
Because I work a lot of cruises.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that was a viable route.
Right.
But I think they told me they got on a plane. They could have been lying to make it sound cool.
Right.
But you know, they only speak Spanish, and my Spanish is kind of broken, so I don't know exactly.
But I want to talk about the boat lift because it wouldn't it be funny if they had I was the comic on the boat lift?
They come to find freedom, and then on their way.
I only spoke English, and they didn't understand that. And it's like they only had tomatoes to eat, but instead of eating them, they were like, "We'll risk starving and just throw this at this guy."
Nah, man. One thing about Cubans, they love Americans.
Yeah.
Cubans, especially the ones in America, they want to be. So they'd see you to be like, "This is our king now. This is our hero. This is our captain. This is who we follow." They want to be just like you.
My boy in Florida, who I grew up with, who's my best friend, is Cuban, and so we have that connection. It's very similar. Italians and Cubans.
Yes.
You know,
very similar.
They're the uprising, and so they came over on a plane.
Yeah, that's.
Do you
what
get crap from other Cubans to be like, we came over on a boat and you think you're better than us because you came over on a plane?
I don't know if they got, because I think Cubans,
parents or grandparents.
My grandparents.
Okay.
Well, my dad came over when he was 6 or 7,
Okay.
I believe, but his grandparents came over when they were fully grown people. And I think honestly, it would probably work opposite for Cubans because they want to act like they have proximity to wealth and riches. So for my grandparents to come on a plane, it's like a flex. Like, oh, y'all came on boats, now we came on a plane.
I love the flex.
We don't get down like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Did you guys have snacks and drinks on your? I guess you didn't get that on your boat that you came over on.
No, I think on the plane it was an international flight,
Right.
so they had one complimentary, I think, alcoholic beverage.
One complimentary.
That's not a bad deal.
Yeah, it's a great deal, and they're probably super medallion
Yeah.
members.
I mean, that was probably their first flight. I think that was the beginning of their membership, but I don't know if they could use miles on that flight.
I wonder if you can use miles. I wonder if Castro would allow if he would have acknowledged the miles.
That'd be a good question.
Communism.
I don't know. No.
But you know, on the flight, there's no communism. It's you have your first class members, you have your comfort plus,
Yes.
and then you have the steerage,
Yeah.
which is what I call people in main cabin 1, 2, and 3.
Big steerage.
Big steerage. So isn't that ironic that you're flying from communism and you board the flight and it's immediately stratified according to capitalism?
What is stratified?
Stratified means it's you have a delineated, which is another big word for
Yeah.
fans, and you have a delineated there's a separation between the classes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because
oh,
communism is
that
everybody the same,
oh,
right?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I wonder.
It's
if
ironic.
Yeah, it is ironic.
It's something to think about.
like,
Our
well-
fans have trouble thinking. They'll hurt themselves.
That's good. It's like welcome to America. This is your first taste. These are classes. Welcome.
It's a little
to them.
taste of America.
Yeah. That's
on the
probably-
plane. It's a nice taste.
It's like a little crash course before.
Yeah.
It's like some pre-America for them.
well, crash course I wouldn't like to use with a flight,
That's true.
but I love the effort.
Yeah.
I love what you did there.
I tried.
Now you kind of have a Hispanic Jesus look. I'm Catholic,
Oh,
so it's very kind. You have a kind and you have loving eyes, as I mentioned.
Thank you.
But can I make a suggestion?
Please.
Keep your hair the way that it is. It's beautiful and flowing for Christmas.
Okay.
But then around Easter, resurrected Jesus always has shorter hair.
Does he really?
Yes.
Like a complete cut,
He has a complete cut.
or is it like just a chop?
It's a chop. It's more of a responsible looking Jesus after he's risen. Flowing hair Jesus is
A little bit too carefree.
No, it's that's a Christmas Jesus. That's a Good Friday Christmas Jesus. But let me say this: keep it Good Friday, Holy Saturday, but then Easter Sunday, it's barbershop time. Because when you resurrect, it's like you need not this kind of a haircut.
Right. But we're coming back on more formal terms.
Yeah.
Like we're
Could
on
you get the
business
different
time.
haircuts of Jesus up?
I
So
would
we
like
can
to
show
see that.
JC, what we're talking about.
I would
Yeah,
certainly
It's
like
long
to see
hair
that.
Jesus, and then a short hair Jesus kind of looks like
The long hair Jesus, I'm very familiar with. The short hair Jesus, I did not know.
Oh well, yeah, it's more of a resurrection guy.
Okay, I can see how that's the thing. What about beard length in terms of resurrection Jesus?
Yeah, that's the perfect.
Okay,
that's
good.
perfect both times.
Good.
Do you trim it?
I do. I keep it
Yeah.
at you. This is as long as it's been in a while. I usually keep it at like a 2 or 3. I like almost a shadow look. Is what I usually.
Yeah,
go
yeah, I
for.
like it close.
Yeah, it makes me look a little younger, and it helps my jokes on stage for some
Yeah.
reason. When I
Do you
a
have
thicker
beard jokes?
I don't have beard jokes, but I have jokes about looking younger than I am, and it helps when my beard is shorter. If that
That's
makes
cool.
sense.
Is
I
this
think-
as short as your
Yes.
Whoa!
Never
Yes.
seen
I have
this.
never seen that Jesus
Yeah.
before.
That's a risen Jesus.
This is a mainstream Jesus.
Yep.
This is a Bible certified picture of Jesus.
That's a Bible certified. We don't do anything else on the show.
Oh well, that's
So yeah,
oh,
that's
man.
I'm back.
Oh,
Okay, so that's long hair
I've
Jesus.
seen that
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, that's a good. That's Jesus is in every
Yeah.
one of my.
That's the
grandparents'
white.
house.
That's well, people have complaints. They're like, Jesus was not this white. That's a European depiction of
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, I've heard that.
Your look is more what Jesus would normally be because
Maybe
it's like
closer.
you're Puerto Rican and Cuban and you have darker skin and kinkier hair.
Yeah.
And they say that's the correct. You are the correct Jesus. And I think we just named the episode.
Correct.
You're correct Jesus.
Hey, I don't like to brag, but you're welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Say
saying?
it to our low-income
You
whites
feel
who are
me?
judging all of us
Your
right now.
sins, I'm gonna be real. They have been a lot, but
Yeah.
you are forgiven.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, I think we just proved it with that with that graphic. Shannon,
That's true. That's good.
That's a great job. Shannon, is this the time that we're at?
Oh, everything is a mess with this. We're 13 minutes in. I'm gonna
Okay.
see if I can
Because I got to
update
keep
that.
track of the time because we're on a
apologize.
schedule and I want to move it along accordingly.
Mm.
Okay, so you're from New York?
I'm from New York, born and raised in Long Island.
Long Island. How was that?
It wasn't too bad. I lived in Valley Stream, which is like right on the border of Queens and Long Island. So it was cool. Bunch of diversity. We were like the first town to not suffer, but to go through this thing called white flight. So like when my parents came into the neighborhood, they moved to the outskirts of Valley Stream, and then all the white people that settled in Long Island, they started moving farther out to Long Island. So
Right.
we were like the first.
Did
part
you
of that.
scare them off? I'll just put the question.
I
to
feel
you.
like my dad.
Did you scare off the whites?
I think my dad had a big part of that, which is a shame because he's Cuban. He thinks he's lighter than me.
Yeah.
My dad thinks he looks like you.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And
he
your
was
dad probably
confused
wouldn't
as
get along
everybody.
well. Okay.
When they started leaving.
So he was a Cuban.
Yeah.
And your mom, how did they meet?
They grew up in Astoria in Queens.
Yeah, I
And
used to live there.
Like high school sweethearts, stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Went to high school together and got married way too young and made a mistake and had 3 kids before they figured out they weren't right to
3
each other.
kids?
Yep. Older sister, younger sister.
Wow. And you're the second child.
I am the middle child.
I'm also a middle child. And do you think that we get stepped on?
I think
People say stepped over. I say stepped on.
Yeah, they put us down. Are your siblings brothers or sisters?
Older
or-
brother, younger sister.
older brother, younger sister. Yeah.
Sister was the baby. Brother was the firstborn. All glory to him.
Yeah, right.
All glory to the baby.
Couldn't do nothing
And then
wrong.
the second child kind of just is. My mother tried to make me feel better. She goes, "You're the meat in the middle."
Yeah.
And then she was like, I'm a vegetarian. Hurtful stuff.
Thanks, Mom.
Hurtful stuff coming from my mom.
Which is crazy because, I mean, I don't
Did
know.
you feel neglected, yes or no?
Not really, because I was the only boy. So I
right.
felt like the little prince.
Did your father take pride in baseball? Is big? A lot of Cuban baseball players. Is
Big
it
time.
baseball?
Big time baseball.
Was baseball your sport?
Yeah, that was my sport. Big time baseball.
Right. Italians are good with bats,
Yeah,
but not baseball.
No, I thought you guys had what's his name? Piazza. He's definitely
Yes,
Italian.
Piazza.
That's what a beautiful Italian name.
That is a name that sounds like pizza.
And then who? Anthony Rizzo. That
Yeah.
he's Italian.
Anthony Rizzo, I thought he was. Is he a baseball guy?
Yeah, he's a Yankee. He's on the
Oh, okay.
Yankees.
I thought it was the mayor of Philly was named Rizzo for a while.
And that could be
He's
true.
the same. He got a bad rap. People didn't like him.
Right.
A lot of
Was it
people didn't
because
like
he
him.
was Italian or was it
Because he was
politics?
Italian, but he was like very pro police
Oh.
and very like, clear. When you say clear play, he's like pro, like go get him.
Yeah.
kinda guy.
As Italian as they come.
Yes. So it was that. But so your dad, did you play baseball?
I did.
Were you good?
I was okay. I ended up walking on to the team at the college that I played for a semester, but I couldn't. Like, they were a high D1 program. And I couldn't
Right.
stick with those guys. I could have played like maybe D2, maybe.
Right.
But I was okay.
What was your position?
I was a center fielder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get bored out there sometimes?
Sometimes, man, but
Sometimes think about other things.
Yeah.
Like, what could I be doing other with my
Yeah,
time?
looking at the clouds.
Yeah.
Be like, look, oh, that's the plane that my grandparents probably came in on. Stuff
Yes.
like that,
That's good.
But they give you a lot of sunflower seeds, and that's fun.
yeah, is a sport if you can eat during it?
No, it shouldn't be. But I feel like baseball is probably amongst the least like physically athletic sports.
Yeah.
You gotta
It's
like,
eye-hand coordination.
big time coordination. But in terms of athleticism, there's
Right.
athletic players, but there's a lot of very unathletic players.
Yeah.
But
How athleticism were you? How were you on it?
athletic, I was better at being athletic than I was at hitting the baseball.
Okay.
I was more athletic than coordinated for sure.
Do you call a ball off? Do you call the rest of the guys off when the ball's over your head?
Yeah,
Do
so
you have to call them off? Communication is a big key.
yeah, it's the whole key. It would be
Okay.
like me, and if it was somebody, you. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. 2 words.
Well, can you say you when the guy's saying? What if both of you are saying you together? Like, like when the
Yeah.
cops. And there's a guy. He's a fugitive. And they go, no, that's your jurisdiction. And they go, no, it's your jurisdiction. Or some people are both like, no, it's mine.
Like neither
Once
one of
you
them want
step off, yeah. So is
for-
it like that?
For baseball, it would be which position, like center field and the outfield, they would get the priority. So if they're saying me,
Yeah.
no matter where you're at, if you're left or right, the center fielder gets it. Same thing.
And you loved having that power.
Yeah. I think it was because I was a middle child and it
Yeah.
could never be me
Right,
growing
right.
up. It had to be me in the
Yes.
outfield.
God, that's
know?
so great how that translates.
Breaking through, man. Had to be the center of attention.
Oh my God,
Look
the
at us.
center fielder of attention. God, that's so good.
We're doing
Now,
the thing.
I'm going to say when you were dating and you also played baseball, do you tell the girls, like, I'm rounding first tonight? I'm rounding second tonight. Tonight's a home run. Did you just call your shots? And were they forced to respect it?
Well, definitely
And
not.
force is not something that we endorse on this podcast. Women should have a choice.
Yeah, definitely.
But as a baseball player, sex is always equated with rounding the bases, and I never understood that. Can you please clarify it for me?
For me, I would say my approach to sex and my approach to hitting at baseball were very similar, right? I was fast. I was a fast runner. So I would just try to put the ball on the ground and take whatever I could get.
Yeah.
So for me, if I got a single, great. I'll
Right.
probably steal second, But
Yeah.
going home run all at once, that was never really my style.
I'm also like the kind of baseball player I was, which was I whisper into a girl's ear, could you walk me?
Just throw it outside. Throw it outside.
I walk. I don't want to work for
It's
it.
very stressful.
Yes.
Just
And then a pinch hitter.
you need
comes
the
in.
intentional. You need them to put the glove out here. And be like,
Yes.
just throw it out there.
So baseball was baseball it? Or was it other sports?
Baseball and basketball for me.
Oh, okay,
And my
basketball.
oldest sister was like, she was an amazing soccer player.
Okay. Soccer. Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're raised loving family. Any complaints? They're probably watching, so tell them.
No, my dad.
Tell your father. What
My
you think
dad
of them
watches
now.
every single podcast that I
Yeah.
do, so he will
Tell
watch
him.
this.
I mean,
Dad,
air it out. You were telling me stuff before the show. Let him have it.
Dad, honestly, he was all right. You did what you could in there. You were a good guy, but
Yeah.
nothing's perfect.
But loving guy.
Loving guy, great
Yeah.
father.
Emotional or not?
Not too emotional,
Yeah.
but he was excitable, but not amazing with his emotions. But
Right.
men, we're not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best with it. But
Right.
they were both loving. My parents they couldn't work for them together, but they were good parents to us. for sure.
What do you mean it couldn't work for them?
They
two?
got divorced. 'cause
Oh my
they-
God,
yeah,
that's a
couldn't-
big part of the story.
Oh, huge. It's like the whole thing.
When did they get divorced?
When I want to say 4.
Oh, okay.
4, I was super
So you
young.
didn't know them really. You couldn't remember them really together.
I have faint memories of them kissing in the kitchen, but I think that might just be me projecting.
Right.
I don't think that's actually real.
Right.
Yeah.
Faint
Very faint.
memories of them.
Way
kissing in the
way
kitchen.
more memories of them not together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then would you live with your mom, and then would you see your father?
I lived with my mom in Long Island. My dad lived in Forest Hills, but he would come he would drive his car to Valley Stream so he could take the LIRR from our town.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came back from work to get his car, he would stop by the house to see us almost every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Wow.
It was a lot. It was like, man, if you're gonna be divorced, let's fucking be divorced.
Yeah.
Let me chill to the
Yeah,
weekend.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I gotta
These
hang out.
fathers sometimes impose
Too
themselves.
much. It's like 5 o'clock. I'm 13. You know what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
man. You know, just take the day off.
How about 2 Christmases? Was that pretty great?
2 Christmases was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we used to do them back to back because in Latino culture we have Noche Buena, which is a Christmas celebration on New Year's Eve. That's for a lot of people. That's their Christmas celebration.
A good night?
Yeah, good night, Noche Buena. That was a Christmas Eve night. I would do that with my dad's family, and then Christmas Day I would do it with my mom's family.
Christmas night, Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, yeah, the 24th.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Did you, and feel free to admit this,
Mm.
you know, admissions and confessions are really good on podcasts. Did you play your parents against each other to get what you wanted?
I never did
Did
because
you take information given to you by your mother? And then what about their separate dating lives? Do you ever resent your mom for dating another man who was not your father?
No, one thing about my dad and my mom, I got it.
Yeah.
I could see my dad's shortcomings as a lover from a young age.
Yeah.
You know, he's a tough man to be with. Great father, tough man to be with. I never played them against each other because I never had to, because they were both working so hard to be our favorite parent that they would just,
Wow.
they would come out giving.
Right.
You know, they would want to be like, oh, what do you need? Because I'm your go-to. And I'd be like, yeah, man.
Oh, that's
So it'd
great.
be like, they're just fighting with each other. And to be caught in the middle of that was pretty nice.
I love that. That's like a tornado of gifts.
Oh, yeah. Real nice stuff. Real good stuff.
Because the way I grew up, it was like never that. It was always very loving, but it was also like, you should be grateful that you have a home. You should be grateful that you have a bed. This food is not automatically given. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Fair.
It was like that kind of a forced like gratitude that you need to have
Yeah.
for the fact that you get to live here.
Yeah. I had a little bit
That
of
was
that.
back in the day when
Yeah.
before all of this stuff where people are taking their power back
Yeah.
and stuff.
Got to be an annoying time for my parents and stuff like that. But for me, it was like, they definitely wanted to teach me those lessons, but they were like, yo, this food is not free. Money doesn't grow on trees, but it can if you say I'm your favorite.
Oh, wow.
And then
That's
how that would
great.
go. Yeah.
That's
was
great.
cool.
That's really cool.
Not too bad.
This smoke break is brought to you by YoDelta.com, the official Getting High sponsor of the Gas Digital Network.
You graduated high school
I did that.
in Queens?
Long
in
Island.
Long Island, Valley Stream.
Valley Stream.
Okay, so you
Central.
graduate Valley Stream, and then what's next for you?
I went to St. John's University in Queens,
Okay.
and I've been living in Queens ever since. That's my
Okay.
older sister went to that school, so I was very much.
And that was the baseball school.
Yeah,
where
that's
you
where I
did the year
played
of
baseball
yeah.
at. It was cool. And then my older sister, she went there, so I kind of just wanted to be like my older sister.
And what did you study?
I studied communications.
Okay, and what was the goal with that?
There was not one. There was not. I felt like that was the most broad degree
Yeah,
that I
you
could
wanted to get a broad
and
degree.
apply it anywhere, which in my head made sense. But you know, nobody's really checking for a communications
No.
undergrad in communications.
Right. Undergrad with communications. And did you have a class called Talking with Your Hands?
No, but
Huh?
you know, no, but I did take a public speaking class.
Yes.
And they taught me this. They were like, this is what you do on an interview to project power. This is comfort. This is power.
This is what you do with
and
your
this
hands?
is neutral. This
For
I
fans who can't afford a computer, we're just putting them, touching the fingers.
Yeah, this is what they said.
Yeah.
This projects dominance. So when when you're talking to somebody or doing a speech and you want to project like, yo, this is what I mean, you hit them with one of these. This is more like friendly, and this is more neutral. I did learn that.
Did you learn to picture the crowd naked
I
in
heard.
order to establish dominance?
I didn't learn that in school, but that's something that they taught us on the communication streets.
yeah.
For sure.
What about picturing yourself naked and talking to them with clothes on? That's more of a fetish.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm naked and they all have clothes on, I would only do that if I was aroused sexually.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the whole talking to people naked doesn't work when you're talking to children.
No,
You should not be picturing them naked.
not for the most part. I
No,
can't.
I think that's wrong, and that should be a really taught in these classes.
Yeah, that's really brave of you to say.
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate somebody taking that stand.
I mean, someone needs to take the stance against pedophilia.
Yeah.
No one is out there taking a stance against it.
I don't think so. The way that the media is moving,
God,
it's really
the
annoying,
media. It just
honestly.
with its subways and God, it's tough to navigate.
Fucking MTA.
Okay. So you graduate from St. John's with a communications degree.
I did.
And I'm walking our fans through it because most of them have to walk very slow or in those carts.
Gotta hold their hand to it.
Yeah, carts. So you graduate, and then what? Then you're like, I got to get a job doing.
So honestly, when I graduated, I didn't think I needed a job to do. I didn't want to work at all, right? So I didn't know because the communications degree was kind of to delay what I was gonna do with my life, and I had no idea what it was. So I ended up not doing anything for like a year. Then
What did you do? Travel abroad?
No, man.
That's the white. I'm not going to do anything for a year.
No, I live with my grandmother. That's what I did.
Okay.
I went and I moved.
That's
in
the
with-
Hispanic not doing anything for a year.
Yeah, just moving
with
with
grandma.
grandma and take her around to go do the grocery runs, get her the rotisserie chicken, take her to trade fair on Wednesdays because it's half off for seniors that day.
Oh, nice.
I was kind of like the liaison to Abuela for a couple years.
You were Abuela's agent?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I was just handling all her stuff, and she did not pay well, but she cooked very good.
Oh my
so
God.
it was a good little deal.
Yeah. And where did she live?
She lived in Astoria.
Oh, great. Don't you
ended up-
love Astoria?
I really do. It is a
Love
beautiful
it.
neighborhood.
Beautiful place.
I go back to check on my grandma every once in a while, but now I live in the Lower East Side, which is nice, but I like Astoria a little more.
Lower East Side.
Yeah.
Did you notice the graffiti difference between Astoria and the Lower East Side?
Yeah, Lower East Side, there's real graffiti. If there's graffiti in Astoria, it's more like a mural.
Yeah.
Like it's
They
something
always morph it into
commissioned.
a mural.
Yeah,
You're right.
It is commissioned.
What about my initiative? This is my idea to change graffiti to a positive. Like if it says, your mom blows goats, and it's just like you paint over goats and you leave your mom is a nice person.
Yeah.
And you just rewrite over it.
I think the only way to defeat
Your mom is a nice person.
I think the only way to defeat a bad person with graffiti is a good person with graffiti.
Yes.
And I think that's what we need
Out
to be
graffiti.
pushing. Yeah.
But I think that you need to put like paint over it and the bad part of it.
Yeah.
Your sister sucks,
Yeah.
D.
I would
And then just erase over it.
Which if
and
she
it's-
does,
yeah.
that's okay too.
It actually is okay.
It's probably encouraged. You want her to get out there.
Right. But
see
you
the
don't
world.
have to, right? But your sister dates a lot
Right.
or is popular.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like another way to.
Yeah, just another phrasing. More
Not
positive.
going incorrect on it,
No.
but just like a way where it's less crass and more like empowering.
Yeah. I think that's the change that we do need to bring into this world.
I was in Astoria. I lived there for 10 years, and I saw an ice cream truck, and it was all graffitied up. And I'm like, what monster graffitis up an ice cream truck?
I don't know.
And you know what I came up with?
Who?
A lactose intolerant.
You know,
I mean, this is an investigatory
They don't give you
show,
enough
and I
credit.
get to the bottom of stuff.
because they told me this was an investigative
Yes.
show, but I did not expect.
Did it blow your mind?
I've been blown.
Who does that? What monster does that? The lactose intolerance do. God, sons of bitches.
Those motherfuckers.
Oh my God! 28 minutes in. Thank you for fixing the clock, Shannon. Okay, so Abuela, did you guys fight at all?
We did. The biggest
What'd you fight about?
The biggest fight I've ever gotten into with my grandmother is I told her that I had to be up at 6 a.m. to catch a flight because I was going somewhere for a job that I was doing, and she woke me up at 3 a.m. Cause I don't know why she did that. I told her I had to be up at 6, and she was like, "I got you." Didn't go to sleep. Woke me up at 3. I was like, "Abuela, what are you doing?" And like that's the only time I ever lost it. Like, yo, leave me alone. Go back to your room. She didn't understand what I was saying because she only speaks Spanish. But
You don't speak Spanish?
I speak broken Spanish.
Yeah.
But not fluent Spanish.
Okay.
But yeah,
It's
she
great that you
knows
can't communicate to your own Abuela.
We do in a series of smiles and points.
Okay, I love
which is
that
kinda
board
sweet,
because
right?
it's nonverbal communication.
yeah.
Did you minor in that?
I didn't, but that's probably a little perk of the gig.
Nonverbal communication.
Nonverbal. That would've
And
been
you
an
can
interesting
always,
class.
if there's a miscommunication, and with your significant partner, you can always pull that card forward and be like, well, you didn't communicate it that way. It's like, Listen, I have a bachelor's. I have a degree in communication. If anybody didn't receive the communication, well, it's you. Do you ever pull that card?
No.
With your significant partner?
No, but now that you say that, I didn't even realize I could apply my life experience.
Oh, my God.
like that.
You went to school for it.
I know. I don't use the degree.
She didn't?
No, she didn't. She didn't go to school at all.
Oh, my God. Snap. It's like that's the end. That's the mic drop of an argument, I think.
Oh, I think I just took the power back in my relationship.
I think you just took the power back.
This is fun.
And it's unbelievable.
It
So,
is. It feels good.
So where was the flight actually to? Is the big reveal coming? Where were you flying to?
I want to say
Are you a party guy?
I'm a moderate party guy, not
Yeah.
like a huge party guy.
No?
Just right, bare minimum, I would say party guy, but I get it done.
What's your drinking?
My vice
Or
is
drugs?
drinking. Yeah, I'm a alcohol
Are you a
guy.
fentanyl guy? That's popular. now?
Haven't tried it. Heard mixed reviews.
Yeah.
But no, it's a thing. It's on the list, but I'm not too hasty to get to it.
Ecstasy guy?
I've been mollied once. Somebody's put Molly in my drink without my knowledge. That has happened.
And how did that feel?
It felt like I was having a good time.
Do you roll on that? What's that one? Is that the rolling one?
I think it makes you feel happy from
Right.
what I hear. I've only done it against my will once. The story, I went to
Someone was trying to make you happier against your will.
Yes.
Is what you're basically saying.
Legitimately, yes.
And who was this Santa?
People that I trusted.
You trusted like a person,
Yeah.
and they made you happy,
hmm
and then the next day, were you accusatory?
So I was, they kind of came out and said it at the end of that. Because what happened was they took me to like a rave for like house music, which is not my favorite kind of music.
Yeah.
But my friends love it. So they're like, yo, we have an extra ticket to this rave. We already bought the alcohol.
Okay, is that the glow sticks?
That's
Everybody's
like glow-
doing these fast dances. Yeah. Glow sticks.
Yes.
Tongue pierced.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of like
a lot of glowing clothing.
glowing. People
and
are
stuff
dressed like
that.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, they're kind of just grooving. There's no real
yeah.
rhythm, but it doesn't matter. Everybody's just having a good time.
Does anything matter at those things?
I don't
including
think
laws?
so. Apparently not.
Not guilty by reason of rave?
That's
Is that something you could tell a judge?
That's what they pled to me for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So I don't know if that would hold up, but it held up in the court of friendship because I'm still
A court of friendship.
I'm still very close with these
in a
people.
court of friendship.
Yeah, it held in what we call homie court. They won that case
Why did you go to the rave if you don't go to raves?
because they pitched it as we have a ticket. It's already paid
Do your
for.
friends always have to pitch stuff to you because you're in show business?
Not
They're
'cause
like,
of-
let's go to a rave. Let's go to a rave. It's going to be, and you're taking in the pitch, and it's like, cut it down to 22 seconds.
And I never thought about
Yeah.
that, but that might be why they do it because it helps them and
Right.
it strokes my ego. But they usually have to pitch things because I'm always going to say no to like any big ideas of traveling or anything
Right.
like that. But they're like, we have a free ticket. No have to pay for alcohol. Don't have to do anything, but just come.
Right.
I was like, all right, I'm not doing anything this weekend. I'll go to DC with
Don't
you
these
guys.
things start at 3 a.m.?
This one started at like 11 and ended at like 4.
How did your abuela handle the time?
You know what? That was just one thing. I think I might have told her I was going to a friend's house just to get
Yeah,
her,
yeah.
a friend that she's comfortable
Yeah,
with.
because I would like to see you explain a rave to your
No,
abuela.
man, that would be a colorful conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think she would get it because she would not understand that one at all. But
Abuelas don't get raves. I don't know what their issue is.
lucky for me, like when it's a grandson abuela relationship, she didn't ask me many questions.
No.
My older sister who lived there before I did used to have to tell my grandmother
Double
everything.
standard? Is that what
Big
you're
time
saying?
double
And
standard.
women implementing the double
The
standard.
matriarch of the
Yes.
family making sure that the patriarchy was uplifted.
Matriarchy uplifting the patriarchy.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
No, this has been a God, that's a spiral of things that are happening here. This thing's got layers to it.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot going on.
You get to the rave.
Get to the rave.
Are you dancing?
So I had been drinking heavily.
Okay.
right?
Okay, heavily.
Heavily, for sure.
Self-admitted.
Self-admitted.
Yeah.
And to be fair to me, that is what I went there to do.
To kill the pain of the rave.
Because it's not my thing.
It's not your thing, so you need to kill the pain by drinking.
That's what-
of listening to this nonsense
That's
music.
where my mindset was at. And I'm like, I'm not a party pooper, so I'm going to go. And in my head, I was having a good time, ironically. You
Right.
know, like I'm dancing like, oh, man,
Right.
yeah, y'all like this music? Yeah, it's go. And then
Yeah.
I ended up having a great time.
Yeah.
And then we're online.
Because it's one of those things where I hate to cut you off because
for it,
but
man.
that's part of this podcast.
Absolutely.
Is if you smile it tricks your brain
Yeah.
into thinking that you're happy. And you kind
Yeah.
of did that with dancing.
I think I did. I like to dance. That's
Yeah.
not my preferred dance style.
But when you do it, I was at a wedding this weekend. I'm sorry to take the conversation.
Go,
over,
man.
But I started dancing,
Come
and my
on.
girl was like, "What are you doing?" And then I just started going harder, and I started going harder and mixing it up. And this is stone sober, and she was like laughing, and everybody kept having a good time. And then we just ended up jumping.
Yeah.
And then, and this guy didn't play a slow song for like an hour or two in.
Oh, so you was burning
But
calories.
I was burning calories, but then I headed back to there was a dessert room, and locked
a nice
myself
wedding.
in.
It's a beautiful wedding to have a whole room full of
Really
desserts.
great one. So that's what you were doing. It's like
Yes.
you were dancing and you were going crazy.
Yeah.
And that kind of gets you in a great mood.
Yeah.
Right? And
'Cause I'm out here.
then
Still.
let's work up to the when your drink was spiked.
Right.
Because this is not cool.
No.
What
Not at all.
happens then? You go back to the bar.
So I'm thinking, right, and this is.
Are you
this,
a fun drunk, by the way? Or
I'm
are you like
I'm a very
mean
fun
guy?
drunk. I don't get sad. I don't get angry. I
Yeah.
get quiet sometimes. I'll stop speaking as to not incriminate myself
Right.
by saying something stupid, but I'll still be like active, having a good time. And
Yeah.
at this point, I feel like I'm in control, but I'm just very loose. My inhibitions are freed.
Gotcha.
But I think what happened was I was handed a beer at the rave. Somebody handed me a drink. And I'm like, oh, this is very nice of you guys who were keeping up their end of the deal by saying I didn't have to pay for alcohol. All I
Yeah.
had to do was be there.
Did you say something cool like whites will go, beer me? Did you say
No,
something like that?
I didn't. I wasn't
The
even.
whites will say that.
I've heard of that. And you know what? If there's anything I do want to take from white culture, it is beer me. Beer me
Beer
is
me.
nice. I like that. Beer
It's
me.
fun.
It's fun. It's
God,
festive.
it's
Beer
fun.
me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's communal.
It's communal.
Yeah.
There might be a chest bump
Yeah.
in there.
There's definitely a fist bump at the least.
So whites can be fun.
They can be. And I do love that, and I appreciate it. And the rave is a very white
Yes.
area.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that type of camaraderie
Right.
going on. So when I'm handed the beer, I'm thinking, oh, this is wonderful. This is great. And I chugged it. We're having a great time. When we're online to leave the rave, which was...
There's a line to leave?
Well, we were online to get our coats.
Okay.
Right? So we're online for the coat check, and I'm looking at my friends. I'm like, hey, man, that was really fun, actually.
Yeah.
I actually had a great time.
Right.
And what they
And it's
responded
4
with...
a.m.
It's 4 a.m.
The sun is coming up, maybe.
And they're like, yeah, we know you had a good time.
Ooh.
And I'm like, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. And they're like, no, we know you had a good time because we made sure of it. And I was like, I don't understand. Why are you guys trying to one up me? I'm saying I had fun.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, because we put something in your drink. You just took a Molly. That's why you were having such a good time.
You know what would have made it just from I'm fancying myself a director. If I was directing this scene, I would do it. I would tell your friends as to supervise the actors. I would be like, no, we made sure you had a good time. And then I would have you pause, go, what are you talking about? And then I would have them grab your face. I would have them grab the locks and then get right up to your ear and go, we put drugs in your and they'd whisper it to you, and then they'd let you go, kind of like Fredo,
Yeah.
like in the Godfather
I
Kiss
love
of
you.
Death.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
I love you. And it's just like, we spiked your drink, and then let you go, and then you drop a coffee cup. You drop them on the ground,
The
and the
mug
water
breaks.
it breaks, it goes everywhere, and then your childhood starts coming back to you, and then it's like you're crying, and the next scene, Abuela picks you up from prison.
Yeah. And that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
For sure. So
What really happened now?
what really happened is I was furious, and we carpooled back to our B&B.
And what did you say back to them after you realized that you've been drugged?
I was like, are y'all serious? But everybody else, because it's like guys, it's girls, and everybody else is just dying laughing. Like nobody was on my side. So it made me feel because with guys, it's like, oh, what are you going to cry about it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I want to, but I'm not no punk, but I was pissed off, and
Yeah.
nobody was validating.
And that's
me.
a drug that makes you anti-violent. So what are you
Yeah.
going to do? Lash
So,
out
yo,
by
I'll
hugging
hug-
everybody?
I'll hug this let me squeeze you, son. Get hugged. That's how I felt.
I think
man.
that's how a bear hug was invented.
Yeah, probably somebody against their will, but couldn't do anything but express the love that was pouring.
What
out.
happened after you got to the diner? Because whites will go to a diner after something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my friends are all Dominican, so
Okay.
we ended up just going back to the B&B to have our own little version of the rave.
What happened when you got back to Washington Heights?
It's funny, that is where we left from. That is where we left from. I just took the A train home mad as shit. That's what I did. But
Can I tell you a story about the A train?
Go
Because I
for
used
it.
to live in Inwood.
Oh
Washington Heights.
yeah, last time.
So I got 2 birthdays in a row. I got drunk at the Comedy Cellar, and then I got on the train because I was living up there. I got on the train. It goes from West 4th to 207 is the last stop. So I got on the train drunk at like 3 a.m. and or it might have been later than that, maybe 4 a.m. and it goes up to 207. I fall asleep,
Yep.
and then it goes all the way back down, and I wake up in Far Rockaway, and people are getting on the train to go to work.
Far Rock is
Like,
crazy.
why does this sound like smells like the beach?
Yeah.
And I did that 2 years in a row.
That-
I fell asleep at 4 a.m, ended up in Far Rockaway.
I don't know if it's an alcoholic thing or a comedian thing, but that has happened to me multiple times.
Yeah.
Like where I go out with my friends, I take the N train home. Back in the story, I would wake up in Coney Island. And I'd be like, well, this is unfortunate. Then just go back to sleep and hope I wake up on the right
That'd be
side.
great if you just get up and ride some roller coasters and then get some cotton candy and then get back. Yeah.
You know, one time I woke up in Coney Island and I left like some bar with my friends, and I had my headphones in, but they were attached to nothing. Somebody took my phone off of me while I was sleeping on the train. So I was just had my shirt, my hands, my like arms in my shirt pocket, headphones in, attached to nothing, in Coney Island because somebody took my phone when I was sleeping on the subway.
Wow. That's dirty. I was worried
All
about
time low.
That's dirty.
Yeah, bad stuff.
Somebody taking your phone.
But they left me the headphones, which is really nice.
I'm
They
sure
just
that they
unplugged
didn't want to push their luck trying
Yeah,
to take the headphones
that's
from you.
true. They was
Because
like-
you wake up, that's a beat down.
Yeah, that's tough. Probably beat down for me. If whoever took it had enough balls to take the phone, they probably could have beat me up, to be fair. I
But
count my
that
lucky
confidence doesn't necessarily mean they could back it up.
stars. That's true.
You
That's
know?
true.
Okay, so you get back, and then is all forgiven the next day? Are you
No,
a grudge
so
guy? Do you hold grudges?
I was holding
like
this-
somebody I know on this podcast. Shannon,
I think grudge holding is underrated. I'm a big grudge holder.
you love to hold
I
grudges?
love a little grudge, you know what I'm saying? Just to give a friendship some flavor. Like, you're still my friend, but I haven't forgiven you for
Yeah.
this part.
How,
So-
1 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, 10 to 15 years, 15 to 25 years. Where's that sweet spot of grudge holding?
I want to say around 7, 8.
7 or 8?
Good, fun grudge.
Wow.
After that, then you're playing yourself. Then it's like self-harm.
Yeah,
Because you can't
I think
let
it's
it go.
self harm the whole time, but
Yeah.
7 years is a good when the state goes common law marriage, you go time to drop the grudge.
Yes. That is,
Pretty
and that's
great.
how I thought about it.
Wow.
When it happened, you know.
All right, so did you held the grudge again? You watched your drink for the next few years.
Yeah, I still do. I don't go anywhere by myself now without, like, I have to go with another person who also doesn't like raves.
Is that other person's name Abuela?
No, but that's a
Okay.
good idea.
Take Abuela with you.
I don't know. I don't
She
want
will
them.
not go to sleep, and she will watch your drink.
Shoot, that'd be the only thing. Mijo, cuídate. That's what she would do the whole time. But I'd be fucked up because they want to show her a good time, and then she end up liking it more than me, and then she would get on their side. That's my biggest fear. She'd be like, "You're being a bitch," and I'm like, "No."
Do you think your Abuela can be flipped against you?
I think she's so pure
Yeah.
that it leaves her susceptible to more conniving, manipulative people.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
ask
I'm
a
pure
question
too,
about the
but my friends
story?
could get her.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have just a quick question about the story. Were you ever able to find out if it was one person's idea to dose you and then they told everyone else and they laughed, or did they all conspire together to dose you?
I would say in the group of 10 people or so that I was with, it was definitely a 4-person conspiracy, and but the 4 people who decided to do it were definitely the leaders of the group.
Yeah.
So they did not need to work hard to get everybody else's approval. And my 2 closest friends were part of that 4. And one of them maintains that they had nothing to do with it, but you know, they don't care that I'm upset about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't care that you're upset about
No.
it. It's hard to accept
And it
in a
stinks.
friendship.
It stinks because I can't
Yeah.
be like, I'm not friends with you anymore. Because
Yeah.
you know, I still love them. I was just
Yeah.
pissed about it. That's a tough
It's a
one.
dirty thing to do, but they were looking out for your best interest. They wanted you to
Yes.
see. They wanted you to be happy.
Yeah, they thought they knew better than me, which
Right.
is, you know, pretty much the same thing that Abuela did when she woke me up at 3 a.m. It's just a lot of love.
Do you think these things repeat themselves in your life
Yeah.
for a reason? These
I-
people around you are treating you this way, and that's a program that kind of you're attracting.
Maybe.
Do you think that's an attraction thing?
Maybe it's the universe trying to teach me to let go.
Yeah.
Let go of that control. Because, you
Yeah.
know, I have my whole Christ, like, you know, what's the word?
Divine power?
Not divine power, complex. I
Yeah.
was Christ like,
Right.
I'm in control.
Control.
Control of
It's
my
a control
destiny.
issue.
Yeah, I think
They were
that's what
trying
it
to
is.
loosen your control issue with
Yeah.
illicit drugs.
Yes.
When do you? Let's jump ahead. When do you start comedy?
I started comedy in 2016.
Okay.
2016.
So it's 7 years.
7 years, but the first couple were very on and off. Like,
Yeah.
open mics go terrible, and then I'd step away for a long time.
Right.
It wasn't really till like 2019 where I started serious everyday shows and stuff.
And
like
what
that.
caused it? Second child?
Oh, I always loved like stand up. I made a lot of my friends quoting stand up comedy routines like in middle school and in college. Like I used to do like Kevin Hart's whole act with the
Right.
voices and stuff, and people used to laugh, so that used to make them like me. And then really long story very short, my friend was dating a girl that was the assistant to Cypher Sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Cypher Sounds was casted for an MTV2 show called Joking Off. He was looking for young comedians. My friend recommended me, even though I'd never done stand-up. I just sent him some funny videos that I made. And Cypher liked them, so he brought me in for the audition. I did really well in the first couple, then got to the last one and absolutely fucking bombed horribly.
That happens to the
at
best
the
of us.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
But Cypher always kept in contact with me, and he pushed me to start stand-up, and that's where I started.
Good guy.
Yeah, really good guy. Shout out to Cypher.
Shout out Cypher Sounds.
Big
Been
time.
on the show, friend of the show.
Yeah.
The fact that you're a second child, I want to go back for a second.
Yeah.
Do you take offense if people call you a silver medal kid?
No, because in
You're
my
second.
family, I was the only one that was planned.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The other ones were accidents if you're being mean.
Yep.
Surprises if you're being pleasant.
Mistakes if we're being honest.
Ooh,
Mhm.
mistakes.
Big time.
You have a good relationship with your sisters now?
Yeah, I love my sisters.
Okay.
Both of them, they're very good people.
All right. So you get started, and this is a perfect time, I think, to go to plugs right now, because we can plug what we're currently doing.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
Okay. I'm at Comic Mike V on all social media platforms, MikeVecchio.com for dates. Guys, got a lot of dates coming up. Thank you for watching the special, Mike Vecchio and the Attractives, on YouTube, both the Nateland page and on 800 Pound Gorilla. If you haven't watched it yet, please watch it and share it. It's for free on YouTube. It's called The Attractives. Thank you for everybody who's commented and all the outpouring of love and support. Also, continue to watch this podcast. We're bringing the best comics in New York City on the pod weekly. So make sure you watch the YouTube premiere Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and continue to support the show all the way through. We have the debate going on horns or no horns, and we're going to come to a conclusion very soon, Shannon, right? Because we have that YouTube poll out.
Yes, now it will be next week.
It will be next week that we will have the decision on horns or no horns. It's been a hotly debated topic. Can you put the dates back up again, Shannon? And this is coming out. I will be in... I think this applies. The Creek in the Cave, June 16th and 17th in Austin, Texas. Norwalk, Connecticut, June 21st, Space Cat Brewery. That's during the week. Governors in Long Island, Levittown, June 30th through July 1st. 3 shows. Stamford, Connecticut, July 6th at the New York Comedy Club, Stamford. Also, that's, I think, during the week. That's a Thursday. Atlantic City, New Jersey, July 7th, one night, Atlantic City Comedy Club. And Syracuse, Funny Bone, July 21st and 22nd. Dates all the way through the summer. Check out one of those dates if you're in those cities. And if you're not in those cities, fly to those cities. Outpouring of support in Chicago, Memorial Day weekend. It was great. And just continue to support your boy at Comic Mike V and the show. We're working very hard to bring the best shows to you weekly. JC, what do you got?
I feel very inferior going after that extensive, wonderful
Now,
list of shows.
just let them know where what you're doing,
Gotcha.
where you are, and what you're doing. And the low-income whites usually respond with a lot of love.
Good. Well, I need that because, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Peach Fuzz Poppy, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, all of that. I'm at City Winery on the 23rd of June. Me and Samantha Santos will be opening up for Dan Lamort and Natalie Cuomo at City Winery.
Great room.
That's going to be a lot of fun. We're
Yeah.
very excited about that. Also, I don't know when this comes out, but come to Soft Launch at the Stand at 5 p.m. The Stand Comedy Club, Union Square, one of my favorite places to work. Me and Samantha are having our first ever stand-up comedy show based on the podcast that we also just started called Soft Launch. That's going to be at the Stand on Saturday the 10th at 5 p.m. Come early, get the brunch menu. The food is delicious. That's going to be fun. And then, if you want to ever see me do stand-up, I'm at the Stand every Friday and Saturday at midnight on Midnight Fresh. I host every single one of those. So if you're ever in town, you want something to do on a late night, come to the Stand. Midnight, Friday, Saturday, I will be there.
And where can they find Soft Launch?
Soft Launch
With
is
you and Samantha, who's also been on the show. It was a
Yes.
very, very fun
my
episode.
queen. It is just on everywhere you find podcasts, you can find Soft Launch podcast.
Soft Launch.
Soft Launch, right? It's in the link in my bio for Instagram and Twitter. Anything that you want, come to my Instagram page, and I will have an extensive link tree for you.
And we'll include all that on the links of this podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Shannon.
You can follow me on Instagram at ShannonLee6982. Listen to my podcast, The Thing Is. Dang, it's me. And Mike Figs, we talk about bad dates, fights, and ghosts. Wherever you listen to Mike Vecchione Investigates, you can also watch it live for free every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern at gasdigital.com/live. That's absolutely free. The best way to support the show is to go to gasdigital.com, use promo code MVI. You will get a 1-week free trial, which gives you access to every single episode of this show we've ever done, as well as every episode of every show on all of the Gas Digital Network. If you listen on iTunes, YouTube, wherever else you listen, make sure to rate, review, comment, tell a friend, subscribe. Every little bit of interaction helps the show to grow. Go to merchengine.com for t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs. And if you have questions, comments, or your own investigations to submit, send it in to MikeVecchioneInvestigates@gmail.com.
All right.
That was amazing.
This has been an amazing. We're having a great show so far.
This is fun.
It's very good. And but now we have to put our investigative hats on. I don't know if you want to put all your beautiful hair under an investigative hat.
I can do
but
that.
we could do it figuratively.
Okay.
But we want to get to some stories we're going to investigate. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go first, Shannon. Woman 108 reveals secret to her long life was having dogs instead of children. What's this about, Shannon?
So she was married for a while. Her husband died when she was 73. She continued on. She just killed it up until she was 103, which she's about to be 108, or now she is June 1st. She lived on her own. She would take walks every day. Everything was great. She only went into the nursing home a few years ago.
So she lived on her own from 73 to 103?
Yes.
Damn.
Wow. Okay, and then she went in a nursing home?
Yes, just 5 years ago.
Okay, 5 years.
Yeah. And so they asked her what her key was to a long, healthy life. And she said it was having dogs and not having children.
Wow.
She's had several greyhound dogs, all with the same name, which is the name of the street that she lived on. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, that's funny.
Greyhound is also a bus that you could take to get away from your children. So that's a good one. JC, do you have kids?
I do not, but I
Okay.
do have a dog with Samantha that is named after the street that she met that dog
Get
on.
out of
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah,
Is that a
man.
thing where people are naming their dogs after a street?
It must be now. And now I know that Samantha's going to live very long.
Do you think you're going to live a long... Samantha's going to live a long time because of it?
I think so. I think she's probably had this plan enacted for a long time, apparently. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
108 years old. How many dog years is that, Shannon?
I can't do math. I hope you
It's
don't
a
really
good
want the
question.
answer.
That's
It's a good question for our fans who are at home needing something to do.
By the way, Street Lane was what she called the dog.
Street Lane?
Street Lane.
Street Lane.
Yeah.
street lane.
She named all her greyhounds the same thing.
Street Lane? How could you call one instead of the other one?
I think as they died off, she replaced them with another greyhound with the same
Oh,
name.
wow. So it's one dog at a time.
Yeah.
One dog at a time sounds like a sitcom. One dog at a time.
One dog at a time.
Do you think that I could be batshit and be a little bit of a conspiracy guy? Do you think she put the dogs to sleep?
I do. There's something definitely at play there. To just have a greyhound one after the next.
Yes.
Greyhounds are not easy dogs.
No, they're not easy to kill.
get. It's not like pit bulls.
Right.
Pit bulls you can rescue easily. Greyhounds, there's something at play there.
Yeah.
And what about not every dog is amazing. What
Right.
about the bad dog? She just
Yeah.
let them live naturally? I don't buy it.
Right.
I don't buy it. Not if she wants to live those stress-free years that she's
No,
talking about.
I'm not buying it either.
I don't know.
Greyhounds are pretty like, what's the dog that rescues you? It's a Saint Bernard.
Is
What
that
about those dogs?
Oh, that's a beautiful dog.
That's a beautiful dog, and they always look overweight, like they
Yeah.
have hypertension issues, and they're like breathing heavy, but they always got that, they always have a drink around their neck.
Yeah.
So when they go to rescue, am I thinking of the cartoons? It's like they go to rescue and they pull you to safety, and then it's like they go like this, and then you take a drink from their collar and then put it back on, and then you're good.
I don't know if they all do that, but they should.
Do you think dogs should learn CPR?
I think so. I mean,
I mean,
why
if you're
wouldn't they kiss
gonna,
their
I
dogs
rescue
anyway?
you,
Yeah.
you rescue me back.
Yeah, it's just
She's
polite.
108.
Yeah. Polite.
Dogs should be doctors. I'll just say it.
I
on the
think
show.
so. They have healing
They should have
powers.
some kind of a medical training.
They basically do already for this lady. Look at
Yeah,
her. She's
I
the
mean,
proof.
come on, go fetch a stick. Wouldn't it be the worst if a dog was there and then she passed, and then the dog didn't even go and notify anybody?
I know. The dog would just get another old human with the same name.
God, they're selfish sometimes.
It can be
No one
like that.
talks about the other side of dogs.
No, they don't.
Man's worst friend.
Yeah.
Maybe man's best friend, but to an elderly woman, nothing. There's no relation. It's not elderly woman's best friend.
Nothing, apparently.
God,
Didn't even mean anything.
these dogs. So what's the verdict on this, Shannon? She hates children. She obviously hates children.
I feel that.
I guess so. She just said that was the key to her long life was.
And
the
what's her
dogs.
beef with children? She just
Doesn't
thinks
say.
that they're just annoying, and that's why she's in a nursing home, though. But that's my goal: is like save enough money for a nursing home. I would live in a nursing home now if I could, because they kind of take care of these medical. Shannon,
They're
don't shake your head at
terrible.
me. Can I give you my reasoning?
Okay.
He's on to something.
There's a medical facility right there. All your food is given to you, but there's a kitchen in your apartment, so it's optional. You can cook for yourself.
Yep.
I would have a little grill outside too. And if you want to go to trips to the city, you can. There's activities, bingo, all this stuff. And you don't have to do them. You can do them, or you can go to outside activities. But your base is in the nursing home. And what a great community that you would have if the hospital is also attached, and then you have this cohort of people who live there who you have the option to do activities with.
Yep.
What a great way to live.
Plus,
don't you think?
washer dryer in unit, and you don't even have to do the laundry.
Yes. Washer, dryer in unit. You don't have to. I would do my own laundry.
But you don't have
do. You don't have to do it. There's people there who will do it for you.
Yeah.
Shannon, what's your beef with this? I know you're looking at me. You're chastising me.
I think this is a different thing. This is more of like a senior living center.
Yeah.
Because nursing homes are disgusting and terrible, and most of the people that are checking on the old people don't have like any sort of medical background, so they can't actually help if something bad happens. They just have to like ring for an actual nurse to come.
Yeah.
It's all terrible. There's no kitchens. It's the worst. But a senior living center, like a community, I can understand that.
I thought
Thanks.
that's the one we was talking about.
I don't know. Thanks, 60 Minutes. Shannon, you really brought it down. It's like, oh my God. I almost want to teach karate to these
In a
people,
senior
and I
living
want
center?
seniors to use it. You're required. It's like Fight Club. It's like you have to get into a fight, you know, and
I
then,
would like that.
and then break a hip or whatever. But it's like, you know, it's kind of cool.
Lessons to be learned.
You're teaching now,
I am.
okay, and you work at a it's not a regular school. It's a
It's
prep.
a charter school.
It's a charter
Work at a
school.
charter school.
Is that better because the charter could just make up their own constitution?
That's what they
and then
do.
it's like we hit kids. That's what we do.
I
we
wish
have a
my-
hit squad
I wish
that
my
goes out
charter-
and hits kids.
I wish they would give us
If you
the
ever
power.
do that, can I be on the hit squad?
You'd be the first call I make.
Oh God, I want to go. I want to just like
You and then
you know.
that 108-year-old lady who also hates kids. That's what we
Yeah.
would bring.
But I don't hate kids, but I believe that they should be disciplined
I do
by a team of people who don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
So
just
you make the
unbiased.
call and you just hit the button and it notifies me, and then you describe the kid, and then I set it up to go and hit it. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the whatever, but I know that he needs to be taught a lesson.
No, they definitely
Yeah.
do. 100%.
Are the kids out of control?
Out of control? They mean well. They just get together and they bring out the worst in each other.
What about a timeout room?
Timeout room would be cool if you have the budget for it. My
Yeah.
school definitely doesn't.
In school suspension?
We have that, but
Out of
it's
school suspension?
out of school suspend. What a gift. What a
Can
gift
you
for
be
us.
can you be expelled from the charter school?
You can, but you have to try very hard.
Yeah.
You I don't even think the limit exists. I've never seen a person
Because they're losing money if they kick you out.
Yeah, because they need the people in the school. They don't want to kick out anybody.
Did you ever do what was done to you and spike the kids' drinks with Molly so that they're nicer?
No, I never did that.
That's illegal, but it's a good way to get the kids to respond nicer to you.
We are definitely thinking outside the box for sure. And
I
wouldn't
like
rule
Catholic
anything
school
out.
because they could just excommunicate you.
Yeah.
It means you're out of the religion.
the whole religion.
The whole religion.
Stakes is very high.
Very high. God doesn't love you. You're going to hell. That's a
Told
good
you to
one.
do that homework, and now look at you.
Charter
You made
school.
your
Do you
Jesus
read
substitute
Do you
teacher.
read the charter?
Absolutely not.
No.
I couldn't
And
tell you
you're
anything
doing
about
coverages.
Coverages, yeah. So I'm pretty much filling in wherever somebody's out. Right now, I'm on a long-term history coverage.
Yeah.
I'm teaching 6th grade history.
Wow. And what's that? What are you guys talking about right now? in
Right
class?
now,
Let's kick it around.
So right now they are learning. They're creating their own country.
Yeah.
Because we've taught them what the Bill of Rights is, what
Yeah.
the Constitution is, about the Constitutional Convention where America made, the rules that we all follow today, amendments, and
Yeah.
how they're repealed and how they're made in bills and stuff. So right now they're creating their own country because we want to test if they have retained how the country was formed by having them create their own country.
Do they understand the elasticity of the Constitution?
Nah, man, they're really just excited about making flags.
They're making flags
Yeah,
for their
they're
imaginary countries.
Super hyped about that, and national anthems.
Do they have to get up and sell their countries?
They do have
like
to present
what the whole thing is going to be
Yes.
about, like if it's going to be capitalism, what system of government, totalitarianism,
Yep.
if you're a leader or whatever, and how it will work, and just have to pitch it. Is that the whole
That
thing?
is the whole thing. Not pitch it, but they're telling you about their country.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you ever sit in the back and go, that won't work? Do you ever heckle?
I don't know.
That will not work.
I'm like, if you could just explain the definition, that's fine.
Right.
You want to be communist? Be my guest.
Right.
My grandparents tried it. They didn't love it, but
Yeah.
you can be better than them.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want as long as they can explain it.
6th grade.
6th grade, man.
6th grade. How old? That's 11.
They're like 10, 11.
10, 11.
Yeah.
Do you think they're ready to?
Absolutely not.
They're ready to be the president of their own country?
No, I
Be
think
the
it's
leader of their own country?
it's a lot of responsibility thrust
Yeah.
in their shoulders, but somebody does have to do it.
Do you think Biden falls down too much?
I don't think he stands up enough.
Okay. That's saying the same thing I just said.
Yeah.
But because you have a bachelor's in communication, you took what I said and you did the opposite of it and you framed it in a positive way.
Yeah, that's
I
like
love
kind of
that.
that's kind of my whole thing.
What do you think's on Hunter Biden's laptop?
Probably stuff that's not too different from what's on mine.
You know what I think it is?
What do you think?
Recipes. I think it's recipes that he doesn't want to let out to the general public, and he really has a tight rein over. And they probably are delicious.
Yeah.
And he's letting everybody say all the bad stuff about it because it's delicious recipes and they're secret.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
worth it to take all these topless photos in bathtubs with a cigarette in your mouth in order to protect the recipes.
throw them off the scent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, believe all you want about taking money
Yep.
and all kinds of meth and stuff, because now these recipes are locked down.
And look at us, we're so distracted by this shiny
Yes.
object that our eye is off the ball.
Right.
And we're just eating regular food.
We're eating regular food, and he has delicious recipes on his laptop that we haven't even begun to think about.
That got us again.
Let's go to the next one, Shannon. We're at time. We have to move fast now. Students attend 45 smiling lessons after years of wearing COVID masks.
So this is happening in Japan,
Okay.
That's hilarious.
and apparently they have just kind of stopped wearing masks very recently because people, it was like allergy season, so people just felt like they just keep the masks on and just continue on that way. And they're saying that because people wore masks for so long that they forgot how to be expressive and how to smile. And so these classes, which are 44 pounds, so it's like whatever that is in American dollars, 7,700 yen. They're going to classes, and here's one picture from one of the classes. And they're being taught again how to smile. And they're using like little tablets that will like rate them on how their smile is.
Wow, that's high pressure when your technology is rating your smile.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
How old are these kids that are doing it?
This is like, so they have it in schools, but they're also offering it for adults.
Oh, my.
But it's this is a good advertisement for the dentists over there
That's true.
because it's like you got to get your teeth ready
Yeah.
and
for class.
dare I say whitened, which is a polarizing statement.
That is
You
true.
get your teeth whitened so that you can smile. I think what Japan needs is stand-up comedy. You know what I mean? Or at
I
least
mean,
some
if
kind
this is
of
where they're
improv.
going, they're probably getting ready to be very good audience members.
Yeah.
I will say that. So maybe we need to start doing shows in Japan.
Do you force yourself to smile like these guys are doing as an exercise in the morning?
I don't think I force myself to smile. It definitely helps
Yeah.
in a lot of situations, but I don't think I force it.
I do a breathing practice in the morning, and people are like, "Why do you do a breathing practice? You're breathing normally." It's like, yeah, but it extends. It helps with your lungs, and it's a meditative thing. But also, it does help with cardio and stuff. So I think the smile is the breathing practice of your face.
I think that's very well said.
Yeah.
And in that way,
The
maybe-
Japanese are not wrong. for
No,
doing
and
this.
they rarely are.
Yeah.
So our instinct is to make a joke about this, but maybe we should be taking notes.
Yes.
I feel like a lot more smiles could do this country good.
A lot more smiles could do this country good. I
Yeah.
agree with that. You know, smiling instead of grimacing.
Yeah.
Grimacing at people is bad.
That was
But
last
smiling
week's
at them
episode.
is good.
Yeah.
Shannon.
We learned all about grimacing in last week's episode.
Shannon, have you ever smiled at a man at your job, and then he comes over and talks to you, and then because you have a great smile, doesn't Shannon have a great
No,
smile? I won't
100%.
tell Sam.
No, she does, and I think Sam would agree.
Samantha told me to call her Samantha.
Yeah, she's
Because
big
I
on that.
go, "Hi, Samantha, can I call you?" She goes, "Samantha." I go, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you then."
I'm sorry.
But Samantha will not. She's not going to see this.
No.
Doesn't Shannon have a great smile?
Oh, wonderful.
She has a great smile.
Yeah, one of the best.
One of the best.
One of the best.
You didn't corner yourself
Can't
there.
commit. Can't
And
do
that's
that.
a great thing.
That's also just
Very smart.
Having a Puerto Rican girlfriend teaches you to be careful.
And also having a degree in communications so that she tries to corner you. You said another woman had a great smile, and I said, one of the great smiles. It's all in the communications. And then you could be like, I have a bachelor's degree and I will be a bachelor forever if you keep pushing me. And end it in a threat. Do you find threats and ultimatums help with women?
I'm a big ultimatum person. It's good. I think ultimatums are the pinnacle of communication.
It really.
You're really just boiling huge feelings down
Yes!
to two choices.
God,
Let's
I love
get
it.
binary,
That's
dude.
competition, dude. Let's
like
go after it. Let's get after it.
Let's fucking raise the stakes.
Raise the stakes. Are you in or are you out? Either you're with me or you're against me.
What are we doing?
Yes. This got emotional.
It's good stuff.
Last one, Shannon. I accidentally found out my girlfriend keeps a sex log. She's livid that I read it.
This is a weird story.
Okay, we're ready for it. Things are getting weird.
Okay, so this guy, he's 19, she's 20.
Yeah.
He claims that he was looking for something on his desk and stumbled upon her notebook. Upon first...
Tell us slow.
He says that upon his first glance at it, he was like, he thought it was something different and mentioned it to her to clear it up.
Right.
And then when he realized it was something very different, she just got mad at him and wouldn't answer any of his questions. So he's posted this whole thing to Reddit asking for advice because he has questions. He wants to know about it, but she doesn't want to talk about it. She's just mad at him for invading her privacy.
JC, step in here as a communications guy. If I'm wrong, if I'm out of line, shouldn't he have written the questions on the next open page of the sex journal?
It would have been more to the person.
Yeah,
who needs
we're
to answer
playing
them.
your game
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Is that yes?
I would 100%. I think that's a
then
no-brainer.
sneak back and look at the book and wait for an answers on the next page.
And if anything, you're creating intimacy.
Yes.
Now you're
Intimacy
building.
is being created through journaling.
Yep.
Shannon, do you have a problem with it? You have a
I
problem
like-
with this whole thing.
It's weird, but I think that is a good way to go about it. But it's like she has to. How is he ever going to get past this if he doesn't get?
Well, it
the
depends what
answers?
was said in the sex journal. If it says that he's too small to satisfy her, I would write my letter back to her in all caps.
Yeah.
To, over,
The
to
huge letters.
overcompensate.
Just
Yeah.
a huge resignation
Yes.
letter.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if this is not good enough for you,
Use
I'm
a
leaving.
Sharpie.
Yeah.
in Sharpie, permanent.
It's great. Did anything about why he was outraged by the sex? Because you don't even acknowledge it if it's good. If it's all good.
Is he even mad about what it said, or is he
Yeah.
mad that he's being gaslit and about like, oh, don't touch it. Why are you touching my stuff? Don't read it at all. What is he even mad about?
So no, it doesn't even say that he's mad at all.
Right.
She's mad at him for questioning her about it and for invading her privacy. He is just confused and doesn't really understand why she is keeping track of the sex that they have. So he's just trying for answers. She's the one who's mad at him.
Maybe she's clocking her ovulation schedule, and it's a good thing because she's trying to trap him into a baby.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Well, it's more of a compliment than
Yeah.
the sex is so bad I need an outlet to write about it.
That would be awful.
That would be awful, but it's so good that I want to have this guy's baby and I need to track my ovulating. Isn't that what you guys do, Shannon?
Yeah,
You
but
track
I use
your
an app.
ovulating?
I use an app. I assume like a 19-year-old would also use an app. They don't write things like that down, I wouldn't think.
I would assume a 19-year-old would just be fertile enough to they can't be trying too hard.
Right.
They're trying to be babies.
They could be just having babies, yeah. What country is this, Shannon?
It doesn't say because it's a Reddit post.
Maybe it's an imaginary country that Jason's
My kids are
made
right.
up, where it's everybody has to keep a sex log so they don't get pregnant.
Yeah,
That'd be a really good lesson in consent for
Yes,
sure.
that's a lesson in written consent.
Yes.
it was an anonymous post,
It's an
so they
anonymous
just kind of like gave their information. 1920 sex log.
All right. Well, I'm not against a sex log.
No.
And I think if it should be private, but if the other person happens to read it, then that's fine too. And they can leave their notes on the next page. And then you could go back and forth with both using the sex log.
I think that's beautiful.
I think it is beautiful too. Shannon, you're grimacing.
Because I feel like aside from tracking ovulation or something, which you don't have to write about how your sex was and stuff like that.
But doesn't that trigger?
No.
Doesn't that trigger how many eggs you guys drop?
Not to my knowledge, but aside
No.
from that, it has
But
to.
this is a medical show.
You're
Yeah.
right. I apologize, but it seems like you're maybe up to no good, because you're trying to keep track of like who you were with and when, and maybe he just didn't read into it enough to see that. Because what's the point? What is the point of this? But one of the commenters did say that this some people just like data about all kinds of things, including sex, and that this is normal.
For sure. If it's normal, then she shouldn't be so triggered when a conversation is brought up. In theory.
Right.
Right.
Something.
And as a communications major, I think I'm at liberty to say that communication is lacking in this situation.
I think that's right.
They certainly need
I'm
to
glad you're an expert opinion.
You know, I'm just glad to be here and
Is
help.
something stuck up her ass? According to the log.
Am I medical? Well, if you went to page 69, you could definitely.
69. God, we always leave you wanting more, guys. Okay, I think that's our show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a blast.
It was great, man. It was a lot of fun. And we got to the bottom of a lot of stuff. We just didn't have fun. Like other podcasts will give you fun. We actually solved problems and we got to the bottom of stuff. So thank you for joining us, guys. For Shannon. Dannon?
Wow.
For Shannon, for JC, I'm Mike Vecchione. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Great one, man. Guys, thank you for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates. And if you go to gasdigitalnetwork.com and use promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. That's gasdigitalnetwork.com, promo code MBI, you will get 1 week free. Thank you again for listening to Mike Vecchione Investigates on the Gas Digital Network.